If y'all still don't see that y'all idols and the people that y'all look up to are being controlled, then y'all will never see, bro.
Have you noticed that? Like, literally nobody has Adam's apples anymore. Seriously, go watch a movie from the 1960s. Every guy looked like he swallowed a little golf ball.
You might have heard about this, but let's get something straight right now, okay? So Justin Bieber does this.
Hallelujah, baby.
But you did work on the Simpsons, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's the season where y'all predicted Donald Trump, right?
Don't believe those. It's just coincidence. You mean all those predictions, Donald Trump, and aliens are gonna come.
The closing ceremony for the 2026 World Cup was very bizarre.
What qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but I did run. And then
Welcome back to the Wizard's Fish. We are going to jump straight into things because I do not have much time, but I really wanted to get you guys another video, so viewer discretion is advised, and everything that you see in here is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get into it.
That's Palm Beach Pete. Hold on. Jeffrey.
Palm Beach Pete.
Have you noticed that? Like, literally nobody has Adam's apples anymore. Seriously, go watch a movie from the 1960s. Every guy looked like he swallowed a little golf ball. Today, half the dudes on TikTok look like they moisturize with oat milk and literally apologize to their houseplants every day. What on earth happened? The Adam's apple, it develops during puberty as testosterone changes the voice box. No testosterone signal, no dramatic neck fruit right here. Now, here's where things get interesting. Atrazine is one of the most widely used herbicides in America and has been detected in water supplies all across the country. A researcher named Tyrone Hayes became famous after studies showing extremely low doses of this affected the reproductive systems in frogs. They worry about the skull and crossbone chemicals. Meanwhile, the stuff affecting our biology often arrives looking completely normal. It's in the water, it's in the agricultural runoff, it's in the foods we assume are healthy, and it's exactly where nobody pays attention. As a father, that's what absolutely gets me. I spend my time looking at the quiet ones, the ones that nobody's talking about. And for my family, organic whenever possible, especially higher exposed stuff with glyphosate. A quality water filtration system is so key, my friends. It's worth being a skeptic when it comes to your own water supply. The most dangerous things alive are rarely the things that look dangerous.
But you see what God has used you for. Like I said last time you were here, bro, God used you as a vessel to open this. Right. Because without God, you would not have gotten that idea. Without you being obedient to that idea.
Trying to say Kashionat was doing a hidden hand bump, and he's a free. Kashionat is not one of these, bro. Like, relax, bro.
I think he is.
Kashionat is not doing nothing, bro. A lot of y'all people that follow Christianity could go on side coasters too, because you're just mixing things together, bro. And the moment somebody doesn't announce Jesus every second, all of a sudden they strayed away from God. But these type of things still exist on this realm, and these people praise God all the time, bro, and they fool y'all. So one thing I'll say is, right, shout out to however y'all get to y'all creator, whatever source you use, whoever you use, whatever book you use, peace to you on earth. This is your experience. You feel me? What it say? The path is many. The goal is one. The divine is all. Different voices, one internal pull towards the divine. Everyone is trying to figure out the source of what they come from. And of course, there's still going to be dogmatic people that come in my comments and say, only Jesus is the way, when Christianity has been used to enslave millions of nations. Look at the people in the comments. He legit don't care. GG's hidden hand. Y'all are literally just mixing in a bunch of theories you heard on the internet, bro.
Друзья, вы думаете, так легко зайти в седьмой мир? Антарктида уже давно позади, мы входим в седьмой мир, и они сразу начинают на воротах ставить завесу.
So this gentleman is a Russian boat captain, and he claims he's sailing to the seventh world. But as he approaches land beyond a force field of some sort, a magnetic, electrical anomaly, it becomes some sort of barrier between him and the land, as if he can't get to the outer worlds. There's an invisible wall blocking it off, and he claims it's within the fog. It's very intriguing. Read the captions and let me know what you guys think.
Электрозавесу. Первый корабль, который шел впереди нас, все, уже стал в электрополе. Ну, и там все стали прозрачными. Все, там тишина. А мы подходим, смотрите внимательно. Смотрите внимательно. Все, он там встал, все. Он дальше уже не сможет пойти. И не сможет сдвинуться с места. Там уже все стали прозрачными. Смотрите, что происходит. Смотрите.
Looks like fog.
Смотрите, это преграда на пути. И это сделали они. Вот здесь преграды нету, видите? Вот. А здесь они уже поставили. А здесь они уже поставили на воротах преграду, или, ну, облачную завесу, это электрополе. Корабль первый пошел, и все, и встал, и все. Там все стали прозрачными, это по-любому. Ну и телепортировались в 7-е измерение. Ну, такая история.
We need to be a lot more wise about the situations that we are putting ourselves in and walking into. If we know for a fact that a situation is going to work out badly, it's going to have a bad outcome, there's going to be a person there that you know is going to provoke you, or you're going to go and see somebody who you know is going to entice you to sleep with them, right? Or you're going to go clubbing or partying and you know you've got a problem with alcohol. This is where we willingly walk ourselves into hell. And then the outcome is terrible. I feel the warning in my spirit, where God is saying to us, remove yourself from these situations. If your right hand is causing you to want to sin, cut it off straight away. Meaning, if you're going to walk into a situation that is absolutely guaranteeing some form of carnage or destruction for you, don't even consider it. There's a lot of pressure in the world around us. We know that there's an awful lot of pressure. Your friends saying, oh, come to this festival, but you've got a problem with alcohol. Or that person that you're really, really attracted to and you've been lonely for so long, saying, come over. The flesh is going to want to do these things. But when we hear that discerning word from God that says, don't go, don't do that. Bad idea, big mistake. We must pay attention to that. And as I've said in previous videos, we have about 20 minutes before the devil arrives. If something tells you to go, get out. I don't care where you are. Yeah, bar, friend's house, walking down the road. If something tells you to get out of there, get out of there. You got a little bit of a warning before the enemy shows up.
Andrew Tate and his scumbag brother were arrested yet again, and their arrest has ties to the Epstein network. This is something very important we have to talk about. So as you've probably seen by now, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate, two big manosphere influencers, were arrested yesterday in Miami, Florida on rape and human trafficking charges. This is not the first time that Andrew and Tristan have been arrested on similar charges. I think the world should know by now that these two are disgusting human beings. I mean, I don't understand how an alleged rapist and human trafficker still has a massive platform, but that's for another video. But in the days before their arrest, Andrew and Tristan Tate were seen partying with an important member of the alleged Epstein network. That guy's name is Paolo Zampoli. Now, Zampoli is an infamous figure. He's currently got a position in the United States government. He's very good friends with Donald and Melania Trump. And according to some reporting, it was Paolo Zampoli who introduced Donald and Melania, even though I firmly believe 1000% that is a lie. He helped introduce them, but I think Epstein was the one that brought those two together. Anyways, Paolo Zampoli is a guy who's been implicated time and time again in the Epstein world. He is involved in the worlds of modeling and fashion. I mean, I could do an entire 10-part deep dive series about Paolo Zampoli. Just know that this guy was allegedly plugged into the network. Paolo Zampoli, though, made his way into the news cycle earlier this year when it was discovered that he had actually intervened and asked ICE to deport the mother of his child, a woman who allegedly was about to come forward with Epstein allegations. That woman was a woman named Amanda Ungara, who indeed was deported after Paolo Zampoli basically asked ICE to deport her, and she is an Epstein survivor. And she has made, just in the minimal claims that she's made, some pretty shocking claims about Epstein and Trump and Paolo Zampoli and how they were all tied together. So it's very interesting. Why would an innocent man ask for the mother of his child to be deported from the country right as she's coming forward with allegations dealing with Jeffrey Epstein in the midst of the Epstein files being released earlier this year? So that's just one thing out of many things you should know about Paulo. Something interesting to note, though, is that Paulo Zampoli is good friends with Andrew and Tristan Tate. For example, here's a screenshot of Zampoli on Andrew Tate's podcast. Here's a link to the episode where he's interviewing him. And I just want to remind you that the Tate brothers are charged with human trafficking and rape. That's what they have been arrested for twice now in 2 different countries. And this guy, Paulo Zampoli, not only likes to hang out with Andrew and Tristan Tate, but he was just hanging out with them in the days leading up to their arrest. And this is the same guy who is serving in the US government, who allegedly asked ICE to deport an Epstein accuser who is the mother of his child, who was about to come forward with some really dark stuff involving Zampoli, Epstein, and Trump. If you think this is all just a coincidence, let me burst your bubble. It's not. I'm going to stay on this story, though, so follow along for more updates as I receive them.
If y'all still don't see that y'all idols and the people that y'all look up to are being controlled, then y'all will never see, bro. They push this agenda, bro. Russell Westbrook was at the ESPYs. Look what they had him in. Had him in a skirt. Y'all don't see how they don't want men to be masculine. They don't want men to be men, bro. But they push this agenda and this narrative to make this look cool to the younger generation, to make this look cool, like this is okay. Make this be acceptable while humiliating the men. It's insane because a lot of people are outraged still to this day about slavery, but they conform to new age slavery. It don't make sense. This, what y'all are looking at, this right here is a form of slavery. These people are being controlled. It may look like they living this life. Oh, look, man, they got cars, they got money, oh, they're on TV, they doing all these things. No.
At what cost, though?
Illusion. That's why you will see these people with all of these things take themselves out, because they were never free. They didn't have freedom. This is a part of an agenda. Wake up, bro. Stop supporting this stuff. Stop idolizing these people. Turn to Jesus Christ, bro, while there is still time. When y'all support stuff like this, y'all are being partakers of a man's sin. Y'all encourage it because y'all support it. And y'all say, oh man, people can do whatever they want, man. It's their life. It says in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. This is an abomination to God. This is humiliation. They make these people do this stuff as a form of humiliation. It says in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 22, lay hands suddenly on no man, neither be partaker of other men's sins. Keep thyself pure. Stop supporting this stuff. Don't be deceived. I love y'all. God bless y'all. All glory to God. And y'all already know, Jesus Christ is Lord.
I don't know what the going on. All I do know is the cloak ain't cloaking no more. The cloak ain't cloaking. I know y'all saw that shit. That's a spaceship in the sky. You can see walking around that, walking on top of that man, all that shit. The cloak is no longer cloaking. Y'all need to get that repaired. Get it repaired, dog. Get it fixed. Get that looked at or something. Because if not, we gonna see shit like this. We can see you. We can see you. Y'all need a mechanic or something to get that shit looked at? The cloak ain't cloaking, dog. I know some mechanics might be able to help you fix that shit. But they probably owe us a money. I'm talking about the mechanics back in the day. All you had to do was get their ass one little bit of rock. They gonna float right up that and fix that cloak immediately. Anything you got wrong with your engine, your GPS system, they'll fix that shit. Give them one rock and a 6-pack. And your whole shit gonna be fixed. A-okay. We won't even see y'all no more. Y'all need to travel back in time. Go to the 80s and find you a few with some rock and they gonna fix it.
He drops way too many F-bombs that I have to cut out.
Fuck. Do y'all even know we can see y'all? Need a transmitter up or something? You walking around like y'all just chilling and shit. Yeah, well, look like we gonna be chilling here for a while. Hey, somebody come over here. Our cloak fell. We gotta do something. We don't want nobody, somebody recording us. That's what happened, dog. That's what happened. Y'all got the lights turned on full blast in that too. Can y'all even see? That like bright as a... Y'all just chilling. Y'all ain't sensitive to light at all. I'm telling you, just go back to 80.
Because Lucifer compares them to Masons. Masons are honorable, at least as they climb that ladder. They have to put everyone before themselves. They are humanitarians, and they focus on adding to the earth. They receive freedom from dollars, but it's not like they just become almighty rich right away. Like, they really have to go put in time and efforts to serve the earth. So these are your people who run your hotels, run your corner stores, run your city markets and your food, and they do the jobs that no one wants to do, and they do them not for money anymore. They do them to just put a smile on their face and be servants and be adders, because that is how you actually climb the ranks of Masonry. You serve. They are servants. They really do like follow the Bible, but just through Lucifer, not through Jesus. So Albert Pike says that teach the 30th, 31st, and 32nd degree Masons, your lower brethren, that they should always, I'm paraphrasing, follow the true Luciferian doctrine. And he goes on to say, if Lucifer was not God, okay, and breaks down how Adonai hates science, hates the progression of man, and that Lucifer brings light and brings truth and brings knowledge and brings wealth and brings good things, the progression of man. Where is he getting that from? Where's Albert Pike getting that from? He has some high view of things, because in the Masonic altar, they run the earth and they're able to look down. They're able to look at the ants or the people and decide, oh, these ones are wicked, these ones are good. Well, okay, let's take all these Christians who are bound by money, bound by their 9-to-5 jobs. They go to church on Sunday. Take all these Christians and let's give them freedom. Let's give them drugs. Let's give them alcohol. Let's give them wealth. Let's give them money and see what they do with it, compared to these people over here who deny God and they don't want to serve God, and they just want to serve themselves in the world and want to have sex whenever they want. And let's take them both and give them the both from this high view, from this Lucifer, from the pyramid, the all-seeing eye, give them both the same stuff and see who does. And so when that Christian, when nobody's looking, he masturbates to porn that has to do with daughter and father. When no one's watching that Christian, he's indulging in what his mouth says is defilements. But in secret, the truth is, that's how lukewarm Christians act. And I don't care what anybody says, that's what's going on when you are claiming Jesus with your lips, but your life isn't devoted to him. But the Luciferians, they do the same thing too. It's just in their mind, they're not thinking this is a problem. They're like, yeah, I'm just a human, I'm an animal, that's what they taught me. So to them, and if you were to give them, say, okay, go and murder somebody, they ain't gonna do it, because in their heart, they have this natural thing that says that's wrong. Okay, so the measurement that the Masons measure, okay, is doing what you know is very wicked, will burn someone in hell bad. Christians do it every time. The other people who don't claim Jesus, they won't cross those lines near as much as the Christians will, or at least this is the deception. At least this is what Lucifer is showing everybody and going, see, this is why you don't want to pick Jesus. Is because when you claim Jesus, you're a hypocrite, you're a liar, you hate everyone else, and you do not follow what you say. When you pick Lucifer, you do as thou wilt, and this shall be the whole of the law. And when there's no gates, you end up just living a good life. And that's the deception, that's the mark of the beast even. And so this is why secretly they hate Jesus. You guys got to understand, this is not just about freedom of religion. No. Secretly, they are waging war against Christians. Secretly, they're popping up churches everywhere.
Got hit with the wildfire smoke from the Northwest Territories like 2 days ago. It's been bothering my eyes.
Adam Pearl walked into his Meridian home Tuesday and realized something didn't seem right.
I came in the front door and, well, I saw snow prints out in the front driveway going to the back of the house. And so I thought something was awry because nobody usually goes through the yard.
Adam was immediately greeted by his pet squirrel Joey when he got home, but then he started noticing a few doors were open. After making his way to the back bedroom, his fear was confirmed once he started looking at his gun safe.
I started looking at it, and I saw the scratches that were around the locking area. And at that point, I knew somebody was definitely in here messing around.
Adam called Meridian Police, and when Officer Ashley Turner came out to take a look, Joey just had to say hello.
And during her investigations, Joey had run in the bedroom just screwing around like he always does between her legs and kind of startled her. And she says, "Whoa, what was that?" I said, "Don't worry about that. That's just Joey. Pet squirrel, you know."
Officer Turner asked Adam if Joey would bite.
I said, "Well, he usually doesn't bite, but you never know, because he is a squirrel."
Officer Turner went on her way, only to return a few hours later with some of his stolen belongings and some unbelievable news.
She said while she was questioning the individual, he had scratches on his hand, so she asked him, "So did you get that from the squirrel?" And he says, "Yeah, damn thing kept attacking me. It wouldn't stop until I left."
Now Joey is being hailed a hero.
Nobody can believe it, because who can say they have a squirrel that guards their house? Which is crazy. You can't ask for much more than that. He's a pain in the butt, but he's great.
Adam says he thanked Joey by giving him his favorite treat, that of
This video is 1 minute long. If you know everything about water that I'm about to show you in this video, I'll buy you anything you want off the dollar menu. Let's go. This is an atmospheric water generator. It pulls the water from the air so that you can drink it. That's what it looks like commercially, and you can put one of these anywhere in your home. You don't need a well. You just plug it in, and it pulls water from the air. Cactus needles work the same way in the desert. We can put water into the air by hitting it with ultrasonic vibration, and it creates mist. That mist eventually falls down from the sky in rain that gets caught in these Hindu stepwells, which are many thousands of years old. Sometimes the Indus even put lingams in the river to purify the water. When light passes through little water droplets, it can create the entire spectrum of color. But the deeper you go into water, the more color it filters out. In some parts of the world, they put these poles in the ground, and water condenses along those poles and freezes at high altitude. They do this to store water for droughts or for farming, irrigation, or just to cool off. Some places are even reviving deserts this way. There's a similar phenomenon underwater called a brinacle, and it can freeze these poor little starfish right in their tracks. The currents under the water make it look like an ice tornado. Water responds to frequency. Frequency bends moving water into crazy shapes, but standing water can organize different materials within it. It's a relatively new field of study called cymatics. It is unveiling the interaction between frequency and matter and relating that in terms of geometry. You can see this in frozen cymatics. Now, Veda Austin's work is probably my favorite thing in this whole video. Exposing an image to some water in a glass petri dish and then partially freezing that water will cause the water to mimic the image.
That is true.
Amazing. And you are water, so you're amazing.
Y'all remember the big head ugly dude that got the powers from the gold shit in Green Lantern?
Us. These creatures are not aliens, Mr. Ike. These creatures are compatible with our women. And what does that tell you? It tells you that they came from here. They are part of us. African tradition says that the cheetah will fatten on the energy that we human beings give them. They make us to fight each other. And when the whole land is drowning in death and fear and terror, when hundreds and hundreds of people are angry and afraid, the cheetah will get fat because they eat what we call the dark power.
This thing showed up in a photo behind me. You best believe I'd never be in that house again. So 2 teenagers were home alone and they decided to take a bunch of photos in the dark. When they took this photo, the fun that they were having immediately stopped because what is that?
Yeah, it's weird looking.
In your house. Behind one of the girls, you can clearly see a distorted man with eyes bugged out black around their eyes, standing behind her with what looks like its hands up. And if you look closely, it looks like there's another apparition, like sideways in the photo as well. Now, obviously, this freaked these girls out because this house was new to them. Their parents just moved into it. And they said they had experienced a lot of weird stuff since moving in there, and that was the first time they had ever been alone in it. And that would be my last time ever being alone in it or being in it, period, because what is that? What do y'all think? What would you do if this thing showed up in your photo? Let me know.
Oh, damn.
You ever notice these symbols during a massive concert in the United States? Pay attention to this. You may not be watching a performance.
You may be participating in a ritual.
If an artist covers one eye, throws repeated horn gestures, or keeps making symbols that don't match the music, don't assume it's part of the show.
It's just a coincidence.
If you suddenly feel dizziness, pressure in your chest, or unexplained euphoria, something may be feeding off the crowd's energy. If thousands move in sync as if controlled by one rhythm, the crowd may have become a human battery. If after the concert you feel drained, empty, or haunted by dark dreams, part of your energy may have stayed there. Share this protocol.
This fish poops 90% of the beaches you love, and it's proud of it. Meet the parrotfish. And yes, it eats rocks for a living. It eats the coral, grinds it up inside its stomach, and then it poops out pure white sand. That soft white beach you're lounging on, it's not rocks. It's mostly parrotfish poop.
I did
One
not know
fish
that.
can poop out 200 pounds of sand a year. They sleep in bubbles of their own mucus. It's like a snot sleeping bag that hides them from predators. That beak? It's 1,000 plus teeth fused together, harder than copper. They regrow teeth forever. Without them, coral reefs die. They eat dead algae off coral so it can breathe. They're the weird heroes we don't deserve. So the next time you're building a sandcastle, remember, you're literally building sandcastles out of fish poop.
So if you're going to construct, let's say, for example, the Statue of Liberty, why wasn't anybody hurt during the entire construction? There's not one hospital admission to anybody with an injury associated to the Statue of Liberty or any of the other buildings, whether we look at asylums, prisons, orphanages. There are no hospital admissions at all.
Interesting.
That hard to believe. Building site up the road, there'll probably be someone today who ends up getting sent to A&E, and that suggests to me that's because they were already there.
For those of you that saw the video on the Wizard's Fish Bowl that I did with Justin Bieber last, I'm sure you'll understand why I don't believe anything that they say really, and why I'm super skeptical about them apparently praising Jesus for entertainment purposes.
And nose gear touchdown. Space Shuttle Discovery is rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing 202 orbits of the Earth, while traveling 5,304,000 miles. This landing marks the 70th shuttle mission to end at KSC. Discovery spent 8 days docked to the International Space Station, leaving behind the first Japanese long-duration crew member and also leaving it more power capability.
These guys mine gold deep under the ocean without any oxygen tanks. So how the hell are they breathing? The air comes through this tiny plastic hose that runs hundreds of meters back to the shore.
This is the inside, and this is the exhaust.
Inside these little dive huts are 6 MacGyvered motorbike engines rigged up to an old air compressor. That thing's blasting air all the way back out to the divers. But here's the part that makes it crazy. There's no dive regulator, no mouthpiece, no gauge, nothing to control that air.
You gotta bite it.
Yeah, you have to bite it.
Oh my god. It's so hard, bro. Because I was breathing out of my nose before.
The compressor's just blasting it straight into their lungs. So they have to regulate it with their teeth. They bite down to block the hose when they exhale, and they loosen their jaw just enough to let the air blast in, but not enough to suck down seawater when they inhale.
I've worked under supplied air on multiple occasions, and that's crazy to me.
Down here, the difference between breathing and drowning is literally how well you can control your bite.
This is so unbelievable to me. Like, we're literally looking at Area 51, inside the base. We're looking inside of Area 51.
Inside the base.
Like, how many people have done that? Well, you get in trouble from doing this.
It's unlikely it would be a violation of the First Amendment.
Okay.
There's actually 2 hangars here. So that one there is called Hangar 18. And then that one, I forget the number, but it's a pretty notable hangar.
Which one are they hiding the experimental stuff in?
All of them. It's a test facility. So there'll be projects here that will never see the light of day. So like sometimes they'll build a project, it'll to get test flown and then scrapped. And then they'll either put it somewhere in the base or sometimes they'll even bury it out in the desert. So no one will ever know about it.
Wow. I know there's been like a few crashes and stuff too over the years.
There was a really notable one last year. I was actually the first person to get to the impact site of it. And I have pieces of it too.
What? What the hell?
Yeah.
You guys got to check out his stuff. This is, you probably have the craziest this footage.
I'll hook you up with a piece sometime. I don't have them with me.
Dude, that would be awesome. Do you have any theories on what specifically right now they're hiding?
So I believe there's like a ton of different experimental aircraft projects that they're working on right now. As far as like the military in general, we're seeing a big increase in militarization with the climate that the world is in right now. And that is driving a lot of the experimental projects behind the scenes. That's always gone on, but I can say for a fact that the activity at Area 51 has increased in the last couple of years. Guys I've talked to that were watching the base a lot in the 80s, they say that like right now is its most activity as they've seen.
And not long after, we caught our first signs of activity. And
somebody needs to supervise orchids because what is this? It is called the naked man orchid. It resembles a tiny little man wearing a tiny little hat. Historically, Italian men believed that eating them would increase their male fertility. Monkey face orchids are found in Ecuador and Peru. They're part of the Dracula orchid genus. Ballerina orchids have petals that look like a dancer wearing a tutu. They are critically endangered because their homes have been cleared out for agriculture. Bumblebee orchids mimic female bees. They are very sneaky and very deceptive. They trick male bees into trying to mate with them for pollination. Flying duck orchids are also deceptive for pollination reasons. When an insect lands on it, the duck head snaps down and traps it. After the job is done, it'll let the insect go so the insect can repeat its past mistakes. Dove orchid looks like there's a tiny white dove trapped inside. Smells like beer. Is the national flower of Panama. Swaddled baby orchid, also from South America. Looks like a baby wrapped in a blanket. These smell like cinnamon. And fly orchids, they are just like bumblebee orchids. They trick male insects into trying to mate with them, except they attract wasps, not flies, because of the pheromones they project. And this concludes my presentation on why orchids are nature's cosplay community. Thank you.
This is in Alberta, my neck of the woods.
I'm 30 years old. Not one of my friends has children. Zero. No one. No one's having kids. Do you know how hard you need to abuse a mammal to make them not have children? Like for real. Like let's step here back a moment, right?
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, look, GDP goes up. People have enough food, and whatever. No one's having kids, and this is across the world. This is across both the West, the East, everywhere it's happening. So there's a thing that happens, especially with even younger than me. Like the kids are like 18 today. There's a huge problem where they don't dance. No one dances. They go to clubs and they don't dance. Yeah. Why is this? Because you get recorded. Yeah. If you're an 18-year-old kid, you go to a club, you get recorded. If you approach a girl and you mess it up, you get recorded. Wow. Everything is the panopticon now. Yeah. So if you had to ask me why, my answer is technology. My answer is social media. My answer is AI. My answer is algorithms. Do you know what dating app algorithms do? Do you know how they optimize? They don't optimize you to meet your love of your life. They optimize you to keep coming back to the app.
Yeah.
And now there's a thing that basically we have sold out all of our dating norms, all of our interpersonal norms to tech companies without our consent to optimize their ad algorithm. Right. I think there's a deep thing where we as a society have not dealt with the fact that we have to steward technology responsibly. We have treated technology as a Wild West.
Absolutely.
Just everyone can do whatever they want. Just sell all of our younger generation's dating lives to corporations for profit. And who pays the cost for this? Who has liability? So I think the real problem is that we are, as a society, as a government, The generations that came before me, and also my generation, I don't want to exclude myself from this, but also the generation came before me, just let technology rip. The promise was, if you let technology rip, if you let internet rip, there will be democracy and freedom and happiness and economic growth. And where is that? And I think my generation is noticing that broken promise.
Okay, everybody, I'm sure you've seen that Christian and Andrew Tate have been arrested for trafficking charges, right? But did you pay attention? First of all, what was the Tampa news station that busted them? 28, right? Because 2 equals 13 and 8 equals 31. So 1331 is 44, which is genocide. I keep showing you all the 28 in the news lately, like Nolan Wells is 28, Horn is 28. But what's more important, Andrew and Christian Tate have been charged with what? 59 charges. 59. Why? Because 59 is the compass and square. Compass equals 23, which is 5, and square equals 27, which is 9. So this is compass 5 and square 9, 59. You know, because Andrew Tate always does the triangle with his hands, right? Because triangle equals 41, which is 5, right? 5, the Mason compass and square is 5. It's just a big scam. It's just a big distraction to distract you from the real child traffickers. No, I'm not saying that Christian and Andrew are not child traffickers, because they are. They started OnlyFans, if you know how they made their money. They did the original OnlyFans before OnlyFans existed. They had chicks on telephones and computers, you know, getting paid to flirt with guys. So there's no doubt that these boys made their money trafficking kids. But this is a big fat distraction, right? Arrested on channel 28. 1331, which is 44, which is genocide. I keep telling you about 28. Look at all my videos that I've made on 28 over the past 2 weeks. And secondly, they have 59 charges against them. 59, compass and square, because they're both Freemasons, because this is all bullshit, because our entire world is run by Freemasons. But it's coming out. Truth's coming out. Sign, share, promote the Full Disclosure Act. We're almost at 18,000 supporters. And if you really have some guts, and you really have some balls, and you really want to rid this world of the secret society known as the Freemasons, aka the Cult of Baal, then please wear Lethal 22 clothes on the street. When you wear this stuff and people see it, especially the Masons, which is a lot of you, they freaked out because they're called out. The Masons are busted. This Christian Andrew Tate arrest is just a big, fat distraction. Peace.
The closing ceremony for the 2026 World Cup was very bizarre, because once you see things for what they are, you really see things for what they are. And doesn't this look very strange? I mean, to me, it just looks very, very off. When you look at everything surrounding this, and it looks like a gigantic, like, explosion almost in the middle. I mean, something just seems off about this. But maybe, just maybe, I'm looking too much into things, right? Or maybe, just maybe, there is more to this, because you have to admit that this looks very strange. And everything surrounding the 2026 World Cup has definitely been very bizarre. And again, you can just add this to the list. The closing ceremony for the 2026 World Cup. You even had IShow Speed perform during this World Cup closing ceremony. And of course, we see the, brick walls. I mean, come on, you all. It is always right there for everybody to see.
You ever wonder what a manifested demon looks like? Because I just saw one on camera. This isn't a joke. Watch.
Can we get another unit to deal with Jay Lee here? He is having a breakdown.
Just say it right now.
What do you say?
I just want to get away from him.
I understand that. He's
I've seen a couple people react to this video and it's all laughing. They're all making fun of this person. This isn't funny at all. This is what happens when Jesus is nowhere in your life. You know how I know this is from a manifested demon? Because this is about pride. It's about pronouns. It's about Satan. When they don't get what they want, they freak out.
This is actually spiritual behavior. In Haitian voodoo, drinking immense amounts of liquor with no reaction is literally one of the signs that a person has been fully possessed. You're actually watching a behavior that mirrors possession. Palo, they use it to first activate the environment for the dead spirits to take charge. Rapper Squilla practices Palo Mayombe. He constantly brings intoxicated or high individuals on stage. People think it's random or a funny social media marketing scheme, but it's not. In Palo, open people make the environment easier for spirits to move. And when spirits move, the practitioner gains power. Their intoxication creates more access for spirits and more energetic charge. When the crowd is chanting his lyrics, that's collective agreement and ritual participation. His music becomes the chant, the crowd becomes the vessel, and the intoxication becomes the doorway for the spirits. And he becomes the center of the ritual field. The more spiritually open bodies in the room, the more active the spirits become. And when those dead spirits are moving, the practitioner standing at the center of that energy gains higher spiritual authority.
Someone already put voodoo on you, a curse.
Yeah, like a lot of, that's why you don't really see Haitians going to jail like that, like Haitian that was born in Haiti, because they know how to kill people without like having to commit crimes.
That's wild. So they can make it look like
no evidence.
They can make it look like a coincidence.
Yeah, natural death.
Natural.
Yeah. More like spiritual death.
Spiritual death. That's crazy. I didn't think. I know voodoo was powerful, but that's pretty strong.
Yeah, they like. I didn't only lost. Well, not that I want to talk about here, but my auntie recently died from that too.
Comme prévu, l'Espagne remporte ce rituel maçonnique. Et c'est le numéro 7 qui inscrit le but. Exactement comme dans ce livre. Un but marqué par Torres, qui signifie en espagnol les tours. Les mêmes tours qu'on retrouve sur le drapeau et l'ancienne monnaie espagnole, à l'origine du dollar américain. Maintenant, regardez les visuels projetés derrière BTS. Des pièces de monnaie qui défilent. Les mots overload, dynamite, pendant qu'ils chantent mettre le feu et embraser la nuit. Et au même moment, on a l'Espagne qui brûle. Et juste après, Shakira et Burna Boy arrivent avec le même message. Depuis le début de la Coupe du Monde, des incendies se propagent pour évoquer l'effondrement du système monétaire. Justin Bieber lui est annoncé par ses initiales JB, comme pour Jacqueline et Boas, les deux piliers maçonniques. Et la veille, il portait un t-shirt Nouvel Ordre Mondial. Ensuite, on a la malle Louis Vuitton qui arrive, avec l'apparence d'un ornement maçonnique. Elle s'ouvre en deux, comme deux tours qui s'écartent. Déjà vu aux cérémonies de Los Angeles, avec au centre le trophée, symbole du nouveau système qui émerge après la destruction de l'ancien. I Show Speed parle d'unité autour d'un ballon géant au-dessus de New York. Comme dans Independence Day. Parce que le ballon, c'est l'esprit de ruche. Et pour finir, Tom Cruise vient nous parler du dernier chapitre. Sur un ton à la guerre des mondes, où une menace force l'humanité à s'unir. Donc tout ça, c'est un méga rituel psychologique, une programmation de masse orchestrée pour préparer vos esprits au contrôle centralisé.
Does anyone else remember that man that tragically took his own life a couple years ago by setting himself on fire in front of a federal building? He left a letter calling it an extreme act of protest. He was really quickly dismissed by the media as a crazy conspiracy theorist. I just went back and read his letter, and it's actually really fascinating to read a couple years down the road. This guy had worked on congressional campaigns before and closely with government, so he was not a nobody. He names Clinton as a close associate of E, who shall not be named on this app. He says everything in politics has been just total theater ever since Clinton versus H.W. Bush. He said they're all working together. Clinton and H.W. Bush were working together. Bush and Gore were working together, and even Trump and Biden. He said it's all smoke and mirrors, and they're working together to just plan a fascist coup. He said the elites know that capitalism is not sustainable, so that they have basically an exit plan, and that they were using cryptocurrency as a Ponzi scheme to just transfer a bunch of wealth, which is especially interesting considering we know that Donald Trump has made over $1 billion in cryptocurrency ventures. He said Harvard is just a breeding ground for these elites, and that the creator of The Simpsons went to Harvard, basically knew all of the inside information, and that they were using The Simpsons as propaganda to desensitize everybody. everybody. The letter is still able to be found on Google. You can go search it yourself. I'll put his name in the caption. For legal purposes, I'm not saying he was totally right, but a very interesting read.
Every Western country saw this and was like, hey man, I got a good idea. Let's just import all these people into our countries.
Disgusting.
What's the worst that'll happen?
It's like the world is their toilet.
I've been working on cars for 20-some years, brother, and I'll tell you what, I have never seen anybody use a heat gun on the bottom of a soda can and use the fumes from the evaporated soda to clean the fog off of a headlight. This is the first time I've ever seen it. I don't know if it actually works, but I sure as heck want to know, because that's pretty nifty, I'll tell you what.
Cool if it does.
The great deceit of our lifetimes is that the institutions that we think are preserving knowledge are actually hiding information. That's a big difference. And the two that probably are the most complicit in hiding truth from people are the Vatican and the Smithsonian Institute. But the Smithsonian Institute forever has run to the first mention of a giant and then created a cover story, whisk up any bones or any artifacts, and they do two things with them. They hide them in the Smithsonian Institute, or else they make it a national park to where nobody could ever dig there again. But like the Ohio mounds, the Indians, well, let me say it this way. The Smithsonian says these big mounds have lots of little Indians buried under them. You ask the Indians, they say, we don't bury people like that. These are burial places for the giants, and we all know that. And there's one giant body under each mound, and we have never, ever buried our dead like that. Again, it's a cover story, and, you know, just baffle them with BS and tell them that it's an Indian burial ground. And any digging or snooping around is forbidden, you know?
You know, all right. I think Indians even say that these were here before we got here.
A real house of horrors? And why do I say that? Because a demolition contractor in Denver, Colorado, was asked to do some demolition on a home. And when he got to the basement, he was shocked and surprised at what he found. Take a look at this video for yourself. Listen.
I don't know what they just walked into, but this is house demo? Basement that we just found? What the
That doesn't look good.
This is incredibly scary.
Dude, are you? Yeah, the chains?
Chains on pipes.
Yeah, I'd say that's a trafficking situation or
Look at that.
something.
Hinges on each door. Chains and padlocks attached to the pipes. Multiple makeshift rooms right there. Just take a look at them. Each one has a different hinge representing a different door. And from the looks of it, it looks like an alleged human trafficking house. The video does cut off exactly where I showed you. The individual, though, that recorded the video went into the comment section and let everyone know that he alerted the authorities and we're still waiting for a follow-up. And just one more footnote, they didn't find anybody inside any of those rooms or anywhere else in that home. And one thing that everyone needs to keep in the back of your mind, this is a real and scary threat to everyone, and it could just be living right next door to you. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Captain, he's passed out behind the wheel. He is passed out behind the wheel. I see it. He's gonna hit the other boat.
Gotten lucky so far. Oh no.
Is the dude okay?
Oh damn. That could have been much worse. Hopefully you didn't get seriously hurt.
Is the dude okay?
You might have heard about this, but let's get something straight right now, okay? So Justin Bieber does this. I can just hear people now, oh, it's not about Jesus, it has nothing to do about... Literally means praise the Lord. He's an outspoken Christian. It has everything to do about Jesus.
I disagree.
Amazing Bible. Totally demonic.
So I got on eBay and got myself a Masonic King James Bible.
But what really shocked me the first time I picked this up, sun god, Ra, Amen.
But they do feature Egyptian gods and goddesses, which is kind of interesting because, being Catholic, or Roman Catholic in my case, we're not taught that these gods exist, but they clearly have them shown here. So
let's go to the pictures in the back. The Egyptian gods and goddesses. More Egyptian gods and goddesses.
Babylonian crap mixed in here.
I thought this was interesting. The soul revisiting the body.
Yes.
There's an obelisk. Well, that was Osiris' penis. That's God worship. Yeah, but then you flip to the back, and there's all this Egyptian, Babylonian account of the building of the walls and temples of Babylon.
Wanderus, the king of Babylon, on some kind of plate.
Now this belonged to Brother Edward Black. Was initiated November 10th, 36. He passed, and then was raised.
And we'll see here. Somebody had already been initiated, passed, and raised.
When you're doing the ceremony, you're asked, what do you seek? Light. And then the second degree, it's what do you seek? More light. And then the third degree, what do you seek? Further light. And they rise up through the degrees. And the hidden secret, which is revealed at the 33rd degree, is that the light you've been seeking all of this time is the light of the light bearer, Lucifer. See, they use this term, light, light, great light, all the way through. And the hidden secret, which is not revealed until the 33rd degree, is what the light really is.
When you finally find out what great light is, it's supposed to be that you're worshiping Satan the entire time.
Oh, look at this. From darkness to light. Check that out. Look. We have alchemy. Eastern Star. Baphomet.
And then we get page 33. The Holy Bible starts off page 33. Could that be a coincidence?
And they say that the source of this symbol it's an important symbol borrowed from the Freemasons from the nations of antiquity, or rather iniquity is what the Bible would call it. Among the Egyptians, Osiris, their chief deity, was symbolized by an open eye. Really now. So that's what we should use for the God of the Bible, huh? Sounds like bell worship, guys. The eyes of Jehovah are in every place, beholding and watching the evil and the good. It is the symbol of omnipresent deity. Who introduces light into the lodge must be a worthy man experienced in the craft.
Photo of George Washington's sash worn in the Revolutionary War at the time he resigned his commission in 1783. Oh boy. The building of Solomon's Temple. Oh look, this is George Washington's Masonic apron. George Washington. Okay. Oop, Thomas Jefferson. James Madison. Check it out. James Monroe. Andrew Jackson.
Here you have Masonic presidents of our country. Masonic presidents. I'll zoom in here so you can read a little bit better. George Washington, Mason, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, Andrew Jackson, James Knox Polk, James Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, James Garfield, William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Lauren Gamaliel Harding, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Gerald Ford.
If you do not think that Magic Johnson is a Freemason, and most, if not all of these Freemasons are homosexuals, because at the end of the day they have to participate in a lot of homosexual activities, these rituals that they participate in, the initiation rites, all of it, there's some really freaky butt stuff that goes on. And a lot of these dudes just completely get turned out, all right? I'm just laying down the facts. Let's watch this video.
Okay. Isaiah Thomas.
Bro. I mean, right off the bat, I don't even got to say anything, bro. Let's just play
One of the greatest point guards to ever play this game. Not because he's just one of my
look at the look. Look how he's looking at him, bro.
But because he is. He shakes, bakes, hipsy do, put it in the hoop, shoot the jumper, play defense. And he's my baby. Your turn. I learned it all from him.
Wow, bro. If you can't see how effeminate these guys are acting with each other, come on, man.
Two guys out here on this quarter, best of
Isaiah Thomas wearing number 11, giving a little smooch. Magic Johnson wearing 32.
He starts in center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a world championship.
Bird and Magic have been the only two guys basically competing for championship. You know, it's a mental understanding that they have of the game.
I'm going to take the shot. He going to take the shot. And I'm going to try to kill him. He's going to try to kill me, and I love it.
Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson, they said we're going to touch and we're going to kiss and we're going to congratulate. And when Magic tries to drive down the lane,
they're going to touch and kiss and congratulate, man. One thing that's actually very funny to me, Magic Johnson's real name is Irvin Johnson. but he goes by Magic Johnson. Like Johnson, another name for your peen, man.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow.
That's so cool.
You did work on The Simpsons, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's the season where y'all predicted Donald Trump, right?
Don't believe those. It's just coincidence. You mean all those predictions, Donald Trump, aliens are gonna come. It was just a
Film, bro,
It
film.
was a lucky guess. You know what was a lucky guess? Did you see the second Back to the Future movie?
I also saw it was a 9/11.
No, did you see Back to the Future?
Wait, it kind of seems
Don't
like
remember Back to the Future.
you're switching the topics.
He's what's
Trying to
his
think
name?
of a good
Fox.
lie.
What about the 9/11?
No. They didn't predict anything about 9/11.
You've seen it, right? The Twin Towers, the Twin Towers, you said.
So how would you explain it?
Hold on a second. No, it was a coincidence.
Yeah.
The semen demon, also known as the succubus. There's three main types: Jezebel, Lilith, and Delilah. These are ancient demons, y'all, and they can show up in different personality forms within men and within women. First off, we have the Jezebel spirit. In the Old Testament of the Bible, Queen Jezebel was married to King Ahab. King Ahab is what you would call a beta male simp or a cuck. Jezebel completely disrespected Ahab. She was always flirting and talking with other men. She was cheating on him. She didn't respect him. She wasn't afraid to lose him. She did whatever she wanted. This is the type of woman that does not like boundaries. If you try to set boundaries with her, she'll say you're controlling, insecure, and jealous. She's very promiscuous, always looking for attention and validation from others. And like I said, this can be in men as well, not just women. Next up, we have Lilith, also known as the wife of Satan. Y'all, I've met several women in the spiritual community who actually look up to and pray to Lilith, who is the queen of demons. In Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism, she lies in one of the klippoth on the tree of death. This is the spirit of feminism. There's a story that Lilith was the original wife of Adam, and she did not want to submit to him. She wanted to dominate him. Since Adam wouldn't submit to her, she left and became the wife of Satan. Many women who have been caught up in the lies of feminism and then get into spirituality and New Age end up worshiping this demon, and they start acting just like her by wanting to be the dominant one in the relationship rather than submitting and letting the man lead. Lastly, we have Delilah. This comes from the story of Samson, who had infinite strength, but then she seduced him into bed and slept with him and cut his hair off, and that's when he lost his power. However, I think the deeper meaning here is that he didn't necessarily lose his power when his hair was cut. He lost his power when he slept with Delilah, and she took his semen. There are many women that will get with men just to take their life force. This is the spirit of Delilah. And like I said, y'all, these can go for men as well. Men could want to take the life force of women. Men can be very abusive to women, and men can obviously be very promiscuous as well. So it goes both ways.
You see a lot of people in the Hollywood industry and in the occult, and it's laced with symbolism. Whether they're covering their face with their hand and it's like the one eye symbolism, or the hand signals that they do, and a lot of people don't really know what symbolism is. The symbolism can be traced back to the Tower of Babel, because when God confused their languages and divided them by language, the occult still wanted to be able to communicate with one another, but they have all these different languages. So what symbolism is basically them recreating the Tower of Babel, all being unified under one language, but the language is symbolism itself.
What qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books. And then I suppose my transparency I wouldn't lie to the people and I wouldn't deceive the people. Like,
What the You lie to and deceive yourself? Never mind lie and deceive to the public.
The Antichrist spirit was developed through the defiled man. And I will explain to you what the defiled man is, okay? The defiled man is one who took life way too serious. The defiled man is one who was so obsessed with being a famous rapper or a musician or a movie star that he sold his soul, that he defiled himself to gain fame. He was probably approached by some spirit or some organization and they said, hey, do this, do this, do this. Devour a child, somebody, do these steps to defile yourself, and we will give you fame. So they do it. But then the problem is, guys, is there's a repercussion to your sin, and they do not have to keep their end of the bargain the way you think they do. So God has been showing me a lot about the defiled man. The defiled man, I'm going to give you examples of the defiled man. Eminem is one of them. What's the guy that started Tesla? Elon Musk is one of them. I believe the vice president right now is one of them. And there's many others, but the defiled man is a puppet, is one who's been fully given over to sin, pleaded with the devil to make him what he wanted. And then the minute that God branded a mark into his spirit and said, nope, I will not forgive you, he is now subject to the Freemasonic altar. So the defiled man is one who is being forced in torturous ways to get up on stage night after night and sing with a smile on his face. The defiled man is one who's being forced in defilement and death and torturous ways to do late shows every single night, and everyone loves him. Eminem is one of these. So I've seen visions of like Eminem being just, dude, poked and prodded in ways that are so unimaginable, like demons entering him and just causing so much pain, forcing him to write the best raps. He gets up on stage and raps and everyone worships him, and the Masons mock us, dude. They mock us because we're worshiping someone who's just, dude, being graped out every night by 5 Masonic masters and forcing him to get up on stage and do what they do, and we worship it. So the way to defile a nation is to get them to worship one of the defiled men, straight up, okay? So that will start helping you understand what you got going on around you. You need to seriously take this very, very serious. The defiled man shows so much. If you start understanding what the defiled man is that's being worshipped, you'll understand things about the free world. You're going to understand what the Masonic Lodge is doing. You're going to understand the mockery in the world. I believe, to be honest, I actually believe that the leader of Russia is a defiled man. I believe Vladimir Putin is one of the defiled men. I believe that behind the scenes, he has a group of master Masons over there in Russia, Luciferians, who are bending that dude over so violently, poking and prodding and burning him and hurting him and forcing him to go sit in that political chair. And the whole world just submits to it all the time, dude. And it's defiling us because we can't see that it's all nonsense, bro. We can't see that it's all just nonsense. It's a lie, and we fall to it, and we believe it, and we worship it. And these people, dude, they're not even politicians, they're puppets. Way too many kids go missing every year in America for no one to be getting caught. Did you hear what I said? Way too many kids be going missing every year in America for no one to be getting caught. Your president acts like he cares, but still no one gets caught. Who's getting caught? Why don't we know about it? How come 300,000 kids in America go missing every year and we don't know about it? Who's getting caught? Why do you guys even vote if your president can't figure out who's doing it? Why do you guys even submit to your police if your police cannot find out who's doing it? Why do you respect the law of America if they can't even figure out who's taking our kids? We can worry about all these other, you wanna know why, guys? Do you wanna know why? And I know why. Because after God prophesied in my life, I approached the same Mason who asked me to become a Mason. When I was 18 years old, I was asked to become a Mason and I didn't do it and my life fell apart. But then God started doing mighty things in my life and he redeemed me and saved me and he prophesied in my life. When all those prophecies started coming true, the Lord had also been telling me that this specific Mason was doing bad rituals on my life, like possessing me, possessing my wife, having sex with my wife through me, like defiling me, mocking me in front of many, dude, like acting like Jesus in my life, like full mockery. This is what the Lord was telling me, okay? So I finally approached this guy, and you know what I find out? I find out that the royal family, bro, is a royal family forever because that's all they do. PDF files remain PDF files to remain PDF files for many generations, and they touch their kids, and they are angry at Christians because we judge them for it. He confessed this to me. He confessed it to me. And then after confessing these things to me, he hits up all my family and tries telling me that I'm crazy. He calls the family at another time telling them that other people in my ministry are saying crazy things about free. Bro, you confessed it, homie. You told me that your lodge gave you permission to use meth and heroin to defile American citizens. He also told me they don't submit to the Constitution. Masons don't. Masons use the Constitution to control the earth, but they don't submit to it. They submit to one law. And the law is this: do as thou wilt, for this shall be the whole of the law. This is really it, guys. And it's about time that we finally start putting our foot down and realizing that it's just not just up there somewhere in Hollywood, that it's at your courthouses, it's at your police stations, it's the cops that are pulling you over, it's in child protective services, bro. They're manipulating the masses. It is in Hollywood. It's in your favorite actors. You're watching defilements on TV just so that they can indulge in you, okay? The kids go missing, guys, and no one gets caught. You want to know why? The kids go missing, guys, and no one gets caught. You want to know why? Because it's judges in America that are doing it. Because do as thou wilt, for this shall be the whole of the law. That's what he told me. He says that they do not try each other according to the law. They say, in fact, you can do anything you want in the free world, and no one judges you, even if it's bleeding kids out every single day, hundreds of them. As long as you don't get caught or do anything that will expose the Masonic Lodge, you can do whatever you want. They truly believe this. They believe this is a healthier way to live than to try to hold yourself to some moral standard that you keep failing. They think worse people come from trying to hold themselves to a moral standard. They think better reality comes from people just giving into the fullness of what they want. And this is where you get the black and the white checkerboard. Some are going to be really bloody and vile. Some are just going to be some are going to be just really spiritual. Just let it be as it's going to be and it will mellow out. That's what they believe. Okay? This is what they believe. Okay? So what they do, though, is they don't try each other to the American law, but if they do something, this is where we get the 3 strike and you're out thing, 3 felonies and you're out, 3 strikes and you're out with baseball. This is where we get 3 strikes and you're out. They have a system where you go to what's called the round table. And if somebody's accusing you in the Masonic Lodge of doing something that is exposing the Masonic Lodge or causing a problem within the lodge, you have a 3 strike system, okay? So the round table, who is Lucifer, will agree on it. And if you mess up, they will beat you the first time bad. I'm talking beat you violently bad. Like you get your face broke, your jaw, like they beat you bad. The next time, like they'll cut limbs off, okay? The third time, it's death. And it's eternal death. Like it's Lucifer just destroying your spirit for forever. This is why they never, ever, 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 ever confess. And this is why they never like actually come out in the open and say, look, this is what we've been doing. Why would they? When they no longer need money, they're receiving all the pleasure they could ever want. And if they do expose it, it's death, bro. Bad death. And they know it for a fact, like you do. And so we have all these Masons all over the internet acting like they're exposing things, but these are well-organized videos. They may not look like it. They may not seem like it. But this is Lucifer and the Lodge coming together and coming up with very wise, well-organized ways to expose Masonry in a way where they feel comfortable about it. Misdirection. Because the truth is, guys, it's in your neighborhood. It's your friends. It's actually most of society. There's a level of society that's just all like Goyim, all the godless animals. The next level above that is the free world. And it keeps going and going and going until you get all the way to the all-seeing eye, which is Lucifer.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you very much, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Peace.